Hello, welcome to statistics. Today, we're going to just go over some of the key topics that we'll be studying for the rest of the semester. First off, we need to figure out what statistics is. It's the science and art of learning from data. And data are just numbers in context. The key goal in this class is to look at some numbers and figure out what to do with those numbers. Sometimes it's how to analyze them, what has happened in the past, and other times it's looking at those numbers and trying to guess what's going to happen in the future. When we look at numbers, we need to tell if that data comes from the population, which is the entire group, or if it comes from a sample, which is just a subgroup. So we want to see does this represent everybody? Is everyone's opinion heard? Or are just a few of the people's opinions heard? Because if a few of the people's opinions heard, we'll have to figure out what that means about the population. One way of getting information is through surveys. You select a sample uh, smaller than the population to represent the whole population. Because if I want to figure out what Irondale students think about my new fancy pair of shoes, uh, I could go to each of the 1,600 students and ask them what they think of my shoes. Or I could ask about 45 people, and those 45 people would be fairly representative of the entire population. Uh, Now, if I asked everybody, we'd call that a census. And this is when we attempt to cover all of the people in the population. Why don't we use this? Time and money. Everybody likes to save time and money. And if I if I was concerned about my shoes being super awesome to students, uh, I also wouldn't want to spend a month trying to get that data because I want to wear my shoes right away. So it would take way too much time to contact everybody um, to ask about my shoes. And if we're doing this about something more important than my shoes, you're going to be paying people to get that data, and to contact every person would mean that you're paying a fairly large salary to somebody. Now we need to check to see if our data comes from categorical variables or quantitative variables. Categorical variables are variables where the individuals put into groups. Like if I asked you your favorite color, you would say blue, red, green, whatever your favorite color is. I hope you might be more interesting than the colors like this, but uh, if I asked you if I wanted a quantitative variable, they take on numerical values. So I'd ask you something like, what are the numbers of siblings do you have? Um, what is, uh, um, how many pairs of shoes? Those are quantitative variables that I can ask. Now keep in mind that sometimes categorical variables are called qualitative, and that sounds kind of like quantitative. So make sure you understand that those are similar. Now, if we need to separate these into quantitative and categorical, the grade in this class would be categorical because it's A, B, C, D, so on. Hopefully not past there. Your GPA is a number, so that's quantitative. The batting average in baseball is a number, so that's quantitative. And your gender, that's a category, so there we go. The distribution is the distribution of a variable tells us what the variable values the variable takes and how often it takes these values. So when I ask you to describe the distribution, it's like I would say like I'm saying describe what this variable looks like when you look at the data. We describe this using graphs and numbers, and then we also use words to describe it. And we'll explain that later on. All right, now take a minute and answer the following questions. Good luck.